Chapter 7. The Return. Days blurred into weeks, and I didn't hear from Carter. Each passing day felt like an eternity as I carried the weight of my decision, wondering if I had lost him forever. Adrian had kept his distance too, which only heightened my anxiety. I knew it was only a matter of time before he made his next move, before he'd come to collect what he believed was his. But I had been preparing for him. I wasn't going to sit idly by and wait for Adrian Blackwood to tighten his grip on my life. I would strike first. I had been quietly gathering information, trying to understand more about Adrian's empire, his connections, his weaknesses. But with each piece of the puzzle I uncovered, I realized just how deep his roots went, how powerful he really was. Still, I wasn't going to let him break me. I had just returned from a meeting with one of my father's business associates when I found an envelope waiting for me on my doorstep. There was no name, no return address, just a small black envelope with a red wax seal stamped with the letter C. Carter. I tore it open, my pulse quickening as I unfolded the short note inside. Meet me at our place. Midnight. That was it. No explanation, no pleasantries, just a command. My heart raced as I glanced at the clock. Midnight was only a few hours away. It had been so long since I'd heard from him, and now he wanted to meet in secret. Something must have changed. I was nervous, but I didn't hesitate. I had to see him, had to know if he still believed in what we were fighting for, or if he had given up on me altogether. The park was deserted when I arrived, the soft glow of the street lamps casting long shadows across the cobblestone paths. It was quiet, save for the rustling of leaves in the night breeze. Our place, a small clearing near the old fountain, felt strangely empty without Carter already there. I checked my phone. 5 minutes to midnight. I was about to text him when I heard footsteps behind me. I turned, expecting to see Carter, but instead, my breath caught in my throat. Adrian. He stood a few feet away, dressed in his usual tailored black suit, his hands casually tucked into his pockets. His eyes gleamed in the low light, that same predatory look I had come to despise. Expecting someone else? He asked, his voice smooth and deceptively calm. My heart sank. What are you doing here, Adrian? He took a step closer, his gaze never leaving mine. I could ask you the same question, Juliet. This place is a little out of the way for a midnight stroll, don't you think? I clenched my fists at my sides, trying to hide the panic rising in my chest. He couldn't have known about Carter. I don't owe you an explanation. His smile was cold, calculating. Oh, but you do. You owe me more than you realize. He stepped even closer, his presence suffocating, and I had to force myself to hold my ground. You've been playing a dangerous game, Juliet, and I think it's time you realize just how high the stakes really are. I'm not afraid of you, I said, though my voice betrayed the fear gnawing at my insides. Adrian chuckled, the sound low and sinister. No, you should be. Before I could respond, I heard another set of footsteps approaching, this time faster, more urgent. I turned, and there he was. Carter. His eyes locked onto Adrian first, a flash of anger crossing his face before his gaze shifted to me. He looked tense, on edge, as though he had been expecting the worst. Juliet, he said, his voice breathless. Are you okay? Adrian stepped back, the smirk never leaving his face. Look who decided to join us. I was wondering when you'd show up, Carter. Carter's jaw tightened. Leave her out of this, Adrian. This has nothing to do with her. Oh, but it has everything to do with her, Adrian said, his voice dripping with arrogance. Juliet is the key to everything, and you know it. I glanced between the two of them, my mind racing to keep up. What was really going on here? Had Carter known Adrian would be here all along? What are you talking about? I demanded, my frustration bubbling over. What is this? Carter hesitated, but before he could answer, Adrian spoke up. Carter and I go way back, he said, his tone almost conversational. We've been at odds for a long time, but we've always known how to play the game. Until now. What do you mean? I asked, my heart sinking. Adrian's gaze flicked to Carter. Why don't you tell her, Carter? Tell her about our little arrangement. Carter's expression darkened. Don't listen to him, Juliet. He's trying to twist the truth. Is that so? Adrian's smile widened, his eyes gleaming with satisfaction. Then tell her what you've been hiding. I turned to Carter, confusion and betrayal warring in my chest. What is he talking about? Carter's face was tight with tension, but he didn't answer right away. Instead, he took a step toward me, his voice soft but urgent. Juliet, I was trying to protect you. Everything I've done, everything I did for you, for me. My voice shook. What are you hiding, Carter? Adrian crossed his arms, watching us with that same smug look. Go on, Carter. Tell her how you've been working with me all along. Tell her how you plan to use her just like I did. The world tilted beneath my feet as the weight of Adrian's words crashed over me. My breath caught in my throat, and I took a step back, shaking my head. No, that can't be true. Carter reached for me, desperation in his eyes. Juliet, listen to me. Don't touch me! I jerked away from him, my heart pounding so hard I thought it might burst. You lied to me. No, it wasn't like that, Carter said, his voice pleading. I was trying to get close to Adrian, to find a way to stop him. You thought you could manipulate me? I spat, anger and betrayal choking me. You were just like him the whole time. Juliet, please, Carter's voice cracked. I never meant to hurt you, but it was too late. Everything I thought I knew about Adrian, about Carter, about this twisted game, was crumbling around me. I had trusted Carter, believed in him, and now I didn't know who to trust. Game over, Juliet, Adrian said softly, his voice echoing in the silence of the night. You've lost. I turned, my mind racing, my heart breaking. I wasn't sure who I was angrier with, Carter for betraying me or myself for letting it happen. But one thing was certain. The game wasn't over. Not yet.